Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to continue to go down this rabbit hole, I guess, of talking about the greatest rifle cartridge of all time. Kind of piggybacking off of the last video about the Creedmoor, I'm going to talk about understanding what a rifle cartridge is designed for and what its strengths are. Okay? So many people want one caliber or one cartridge to be something else, or they want to try to improve it and get it to a place that it's not meant for. So the title of this video is Stay in Your Lane. That term is used for other things in pop culture, never really rifle cartridges, but that's what I'm going to use it for today. Stay in your lane. Don't try to make this cartridge be another cartridge. Accept it for what it is and realize how cool it is for how it was designed. So let me explain what I'm trying to say. Let me give you some examples. I like a 22-250 Remington. I think it's an awesome cartridge. I've got a lot of hand loads that I've made for it in 55 grain Nosler ballistic tips. I think it's a cool cartridge. That's a cool bullet. It shoots great. Sometimes we get to looking at numbers like ballistic coefficiency, and we look at a 6.5-284, and we look at that 140 grain ballistic coefficiency, that BC number, and we're like, man, that's awesome. And then we look at the 55 grain 22-250, and we're like, ooh, that ain't near as efficient as the 6.5 is. And then we start looking at all these different calibers and all these different cartridges and the BC of different ones, and sometimes we just completely get out of our minds. That's not the right way to say it, but we completely lose focus on what each cartridge is doing and what it's trying to do, what it's meant to do, what it was designed to do. So for example, I noticed that the 22-250 and that 55 grain bullet just was not that efficient, didn't have a high BC. And I started to read some stuff on the internet and the books and stuff, and about how if you move up, you can get, like if you get a heavier bullet in a 22-250, like a 75 grain bullet, you're getting into some much better BCs. And so then I thought, man, that's what I've got to have, because I like to predator hunt. I like to use it for coyotes mainly. And I thought, oh man, that would be so cool to have a 75 grain bullet in a 22-250. So I decided I'm going to buy those bullets. And then I found out there's even like 90 grain Burgers VLD bullets. That'd be so cool, man. That would be so awesome. And then I started to realize that my gun has got like a 1 in 14 twist rate. It might be 1 in 12, but it's a slow twist rate, and it's pretty well geared for that 50 to 55 grain bullet. So I began to realize that I can't stabilize that bullet with the twist rate that's in my gun. So I could make the bullet, I could put it together, and it would be very inaccurate. It would have cant and yaw to it. It would kind of do this. Instead of being a tight spiral, it would do this. And so I realized, oh man, that kind of sucks. So I began to look at other guns, and I did find some rifles, very few, that had a 22-250 and a 1 in 9 twist rate instead of like a 1 in 12 or a 1 in 14. And those would do much better. You could get close to the 75 grain bullets. But I thought, no, I really want that 90 grain bullet. I want that 90 grain bullet. Man, that would be so awesome. I mean, I could snipe coyotes from 700-800 yards away. It'd be a longer bullet. It'd have better sectional density. It'd be so cool. I just had to have it. So then I thought, I'm going to have to build a custom gun. I didn't do it, thank goodness. But I thought, I'm going to have to build a custom gun. And people have done this in the past. I've actually read about it. And just, just contact a manufacturer, have them send me a 26-inch 22-250 barrel, probably in a 1 in 7 twist. And I thought, yeah, that would be awesome. And I just was thinking this through and how much it was going to cost and if I could even afford it. And I'll just say, had I done that, it would be a cool rifle. It would do what I wanted it to do. And then one day it just dawned on me, what I would end up having is a glorified 243. I mean, when you're getting up there 75, 90 grains, that's what the 243 shoots. Okay? And then it dawned on me, I'm really getting the 22-250 out of its zone, out of its lane so far at that point that I might as well just get the 243. It's just like, it becomes silly to me, and I realize, oh, that's kind of stupid. Yes, a 90 grain 22 caliber bullet would have better BC than a 90 grain 243 bullet. Yes, it would be cool. It would do its job, but man, you're putting a lot of effort, a lot of money into something that you don't need to do. Just get a 243. You can get a cheap 243, shoot 90 grain bullets all day long. It won't be the same thing, pretty close, and it would be so easy to get that. So that's an example of getting out of your lane. Another example is a 308. I'm a huge fan of the 308. I'm also a huge fan of the 30-06. Big difference between the two is obviously one is much longer. One goes in a standard or a long action. The other one goes in a short action. A lot of people will love the 308 because it's more efficient than a 30-06, which it is. You don't really need a real long barrel. You just you can have a short barrel. It's a short action. It can be a lighter gun overall. And it's just more efficient. You're getting more out of what it has. It's pound for pound getting more out of it than the 30-06 is. Huge fan of the 30-06, don't get me wrong. But it's not as efficient as a 308. And that's the design behind the 308. That's the genius behind it. That's what makes it so awesome. But then some people say, I love the 308. I like it better than the 30-06. I'm not saying I think that, but some people would think that. But what can we do to make it just a little bit better? Maybe we could get a 308 Ackley improved. And when you read about it, it's really not that much of a difference. Very little. But hey, just that little bit of edge. And then, hey, instead of getting a 22-inch barrel, let's get a 24. You know what? 26. Let's get a 26-inch 308 barrel. And we really want to shoot those higher BC bullets. Let's get a custom barrel and let's get it in a 1 in 8 twist. Yeah. But before you know it, what do you have? You have a glorified 30-06. Or maybe a 300. If you did everything I just said, you're getting close to 300 mag. Just get a 300 mag. Just get a 30-06. If all you want to do is increase some velocity, and by making your 308 24-inch barrel instead of a 22, or maybe a 26-inch barrel, why are you getting a 308 in the first place? Unless you're shooting F class, in which you don't have any choice, you have to shoot a 308 or whatever the case. And yeah, that would make complete sense going that route. But if you love the 308 more than 30-06, just as an example, then embrace the 308 for what it is. Don't try to make it a 30-06. Because if you want the 308 to become more like a 30-06, just go with a 30-06. So stay in your lane. What I love about the 308 is it's a mild, kind of watered down version of the 30-06. Now that's going to come across very negative. That it's my preferred whitetail deer round, so I'm a big fan of the 308. I know it's been and probably still is a sniper rifle round. I know it's been, in our M14s and our M60s in the military. I know it's used in F class. It can be very accurate at long ranges, but as far as hunting, it's It's kind of a mild, tempered, watered down 30-06. That sheds it in a negative light, which I'm not trying to do it. In a positive light, you could say it's way more efficient. You're getting, maybe 85% of the performance out of a 30-06, yet less powder, less recoil, and so on and so forth. So depending on how you look at it, you could say it's so more efficient, or you could say, well, it's more mild. But that's what I like about it. I like that the 308 kicks less than a 30-06. I like that it's a little bit more mild in its performance. And if I accept it for what it is, if I accept a 308, hey, look, 308 is just not going to be quite as fast. It's close, but not as fast as a 30-06. And it's not going to have as much energy as a 30-06. If I just accept that fact, then I'm not so concerned about the barrel length. In fact, 22 is fine because it's a shorter action. With a 22-inch barrel, all of a sudden it's more mobile. It's easier to carry around. It's lighter, And then if I think, since I'm accepting, since I'm changing and I'm becoming more accepting of this 308, and I know it's not a 300 Winchester Magnum for sure, and I know it's not even a 30-06, and I'm okay with it, not shooting as fast and having as much energy. If I'm okay with that, and I like it because of how compact and lightweight it is, I don't need high BC bullets. That's really not the theme of the 308. I don't need to shoot 180 grain bullets out of it. Yeah, that's where your high BC comes from, is those heavier, longer bullets, especially those ones that are designed to be more streamlined, like the ELDXs or the VLDs and all that. But that's not what the 308's for. I'm not looking for that. I'm accepting it for what it is. I'm going with its strengths. Its strengths is its efficiency. So shoot the 150 grain bullet. Shoot the 130 grain bullet. Shoot those lighter bullets. And cut your range down. Forget about shooting things with a 308 at 500-600 yards. Forget that. That ain't what it's for. That's not, if I know that gun is really a 300 yard and closer gun for hunting purposes, and I don't care about the extreme BC because I'm not shooting that far away, I can go with a little bit lighter, faster bullet. Just got to make sure it's the right bullet for the application that's going to expand properly. I'm not so concerned with the 22-inch or how long the barrel is. In fact, I would prefer it to be shorter, lighter. Then all of a sudden, I have an awesome, awesome, awesome cartridge. One of my favorite cartridges, the 308, because I've accepted it for what it is, not for what it's not. This might come across kind of weird, but if I wanted more performance, if I wanted it to shoot heavier bullets, I would just go with a 30-06. So, and I love the 30-06. That's a whole nother video. We could talk about that. But, stay in your lane. I consider the 6.5 Creedmoor in the same boat as a 308. It's got a lot of cool design features. It's got an awesome bullet, a 140 grain bullet. I love the rifles it comes in, but I would go with a 22-inch barrel, short action rifle, lightweight. I'm not, even though it was designed originally for long range, as the 308 can also be used for long range, for hunting purposes, that's not where it's at. It's an awesome hunting rifle if you keep it within reasonable distances. An accurate hunting rifle, low recoiling hunting rifle. So stay in your lane. That's the theme of this. But when you're thinking about how this cartridge relates to another cartridge, or how you could soup up one cartridge, don't forget the strengths of it. I'll give you one more example. 30-06 does not have a steep shoulder. It does have some taper. Some people would turn it into a Gibbs or turn it into an Ackley Improved. Some people would just say go with a 300 Winchester Magnum, or just go with a 300 short Magnum. But there's things about the 30-06 that make it awesome. When cycling a bolt, a 30-06 feeds really well. So these longer tapered bullets with a a more gradual angle on the shoulder, they feed better. They feed, generally speaking, more reliable. If a gun is designed well, they can get around that. And your higher end guns are going to cycle just about anything it's designed for properly. But just generally speaking, you look back at like a 300 H&H Magnum, that long bullet, 7mm Remington Magnum. Those things feed awesome because they're long and it just goes in and out of that chamber so much better. So, don't always assume shorter, fatter case is better. Maybe a longer design. Maybe this is what you want. Oh, it's a long action. Everybody hates long actions today. Maybe this is the kind of action that you're looking for. So just think about what the purpose of the round was, what it's designed for, and don't get it out of its lane. Don't try to make a 308 become a super 308, because then you're just ending up with a 30-06 or a 300 Magnum. Accept it for what it is. If you really want a 300 Winchester Magnum and you want that extreme performance, extreme power, you get a 26-inch barrel, you got your long action, probably a heavy gun to absorb some of the recoil. You can really stoke it and get that thing moving. And then have a 308 with a 22-inch barrel, short action, lighter gun, not high BC bullet. Like you might be shooting a 200 grain bullet out of that 300 Win Mag with high BCs, good for 900 yard shots at game even. Probably not ethical to do that, but it could be done. And think of this thing as your 200 yard gun. So just keep cartridges in their lane, and it'll save you a lot of hassle. Save you a lot of money too if you start doing some custom making or trying to build custom guns. I've went down that road a couple times, and it's a bad road. A lot of money goes into it, and then in the end you are happy because it was customized to your wants and needs and you like it, but you're thinking, oh man, I put so much money into that and I've got a 243, or I put so much money into that and I've got a 30-06. What was I doing? So stay in your lane. So I'll just end the video there. Hope you have a good day. Hope this was interesting. Take care.